What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Bitcoin hovering underneath 89K, and people are getting scared. People are getting scared. Bears are getting loud. Fear and greed at 21 at the moment over here, and it all is just lining up to be a potential bottom. I'll tell you why. Because yesterday we obviously had a major liquidation event, bringing in over $1.5 billion of liquidation, which usually marks a turning point. This usually marks a turning point in the markets. So, such a high liquidation event on a push to the downside like that is a sign and a symptom of a major liquidation event. We obviously saw a lot of shorts jumping into the markets, which is at the moment making the majority of the market participants short, of course. And you normally don't see major continuation after this kind of data is seen to the long side or the short side. So at the moment, the majority is short, and it is very unlikely that shorts are going to get paid at the moment. So definitely, I wouldn't be panic selling anything. But the market is looking very interesting. Bitcoin Darwin's looking interesting. Crypto markets looking interesting. But yeah, let's keep it simple. With Bitcoin, obviously, we lost the major support over here at that 92K level over here, and a lot of panic in the markets, of course. Fair enough. Losing support is quite scary, and Bitcoin does look heavy. If you start to lose this level over here, there is a big gap over here. I mean, huge gap like that. You can just go straight down. But, this is the market. Everyone's getting scared, and this is normally the best time to get stuck in. We are still above the 200-day EMA and a significant 50% level. That significant 50% level coming in at around 80K over here. And that is the 50% level from the August lows at 49K all the way to the all-time high just below 110K. So the 50% level comes in at 80K over there. And very likely that, if this is tested, it is tested as major support, of course, because when you test these levels from the overside, it is tested as support. So what you can see yesterday, if we do drag out the significant fib retracement from the August lows, which is very significant, to the all-time highs, which is also very significant, you see that price came perfectly into the 382. Okay. When you get a strong bounce and continuation of the 382, it's a sign of an extremely strong market. So it was very likely that, this was tested at some point. Obviously, looking in hindsight, it is much easier. But the 382, getting a bounce off the 382 and continuation shows major signs of strength. So if Bitcoin can get above significant levels and start to turn to the upside, this is going to be looking very strong, because we did get that extremely strong bounce off the 382, which, is a great sign, of course. And if we just look at, prior moves to the downside for Bitcoin, this whole cycle, we've obviously had the first dip over there, 22%. We've had this dip over here, 21%. This dip over here, 23%. Let's go 24%. We've had this dip over here. This dip was 21%. So, we are getting a lot of that between 20 and 25% over here. This was the biggest dip, of course, over here. That is 33% over there, and 27% to this range low over there. So that is kind of the ballpark figure. We can do all the data analytics on that, but what it's going to tell you is that you're likely to get a dip between 20 and 25%, and we're unlikely to get a dip bigger than that. If the dip is bigger than that, it will be looking quite scary. So I do think this is the most probable low point in the market, as we did dip 21.6%. Very, very significant, guys. This is most likely the low. Okay. If we do come lower, maybe we can come down to 25%, even 30%, this level over here. 27.7% takes us down to 80K, and that is most likely going to be the worst case scenario. This is the worst case scenario, but a lot of people will be buying at this level. So, if you are a very conservative trader, you'd be placing some limit orders in here. But if you are looking for a nice trade to the upside, the risk reward is crazy at the moment, guys. because you don't want to start to close candles below 80K, then that will be looking very ugly, and Bitcoin will likely be grinding sideways for a while, a period like this, of course, and that this will be a breakdown. But I'm looking for something like this to play out where, we get low, we get extreme panic, extreme fear in these levels over here, and then we do get a push to the upside. So what am I expecting? Well, most likely a push up to the upside this week. I'll tell you why. Majority of the market participants are short, meaning that people who are going to get paid, big players getting paid, are going to be going the other way, which is long. Okay, a lot of liquidity to the upside as well, of course, and it is most likely that there is a push to the upside. The majority of the market participants are short, and that never normally ends well. And it's going to depend how, will we get a push up and what's going to happen. So if we get a push up to obviously the range low, this should be resistance over there, of course. Then we could get another move to the downside, some kind of double bottom. Do we come lower? Do we get a higher low? But again, guys, I'm waiting for 3 days outside of this trend line over here. We've been waiting for a break of this for a while now. This was a fake out. This was drawn like this at first. We got a little push up, fake out, and we are waiting to close multiple candles above the 50-day EMA. We have been waiting for this since this massive dump, which we saw at the start of February. And it has been dropping sideways, little dump to the downside. But there's nothing to worry about, guys. All this come down. So, I think a dollar cost average strategy over here is a good idea. I am in a long position from about 88K. I got into that yesterday, and I'm in a long position on Solana and Ethereum as well. I didn't manage to find my XRP long, but this was the perfect retest of the 50% of the wick. So this was a very valid long yesterday, but I was long with quite a bit of risk on these cryptos. So I didn't want to expose myself too much to a falling knife market, of course, but nothing too much to worry about. If you zoom out, we are just getting a strong bounce off the 382, and this is what you like to see in a strong, healthy bull market, of course. So nothing to worry about. But Bitcoin, we'd like to see Bitcoin above 92K. That would be looking very good. This would be looking like a deviation, and then after deviation, we normally visit the range high, of course. Ethereum coming and testing the 50% of that wick, which we outlined for a while now on the channel. 2,480. I did get stopped out of my long, but we are in another long from 2,400. So it's not a bad idea to get stopped out early, and then you can just get in lower. And we were looking for this kind of bear flag. We were saying if we do break this upsloping support, the bear flag is going to play out, and it did. The bear flag did play out, of course. But yeah, Ethereum, I think, it's very cheap at the moment, guys. If you were bullish on Ethereum over here after the Trump victory, then this is a major discount of 20%, and this is a decent discount to get into some spot positions, long positions. If you are conservative, spot is king, and just wait it out, guys. Wait it out, be patient, and the patient players and traders get rewarded. Just remember that, guys. Solana, I did jump into a Solana long. I got an average price of 135 around over here. Tight stops as well. And yeah, looking for this to at least come up and test this level over here at about 165. I would expect a test of this. And if we are going to come down to the bottom of the range, that is a place where you would likely see a test, of course. And then we'll have to see how it reacts here. Will we reclaim this and then come down, test this as support, get back into this downsloping resistance, which was support, and we did lose level. So this is a significant, line to follow, of course. But yeah, this is a massive dump. 55% from all-time highs. Pretty major, guys. Pretty major. And we are down to those levels which we were grinding out for the majority of last year, which is frustrating. It is frustrating, of course. XRP, we just spoke about this nice bounce off the 50% level. Can we come down to $1.70 odd? We could, but I would be safe in this trade. I think XRP is one that is looking much better than the majority of the other tokens. And you would just expect this to be, you wouldn't want to see prices come underneath there. So You could be in your long with a conservative stop loss over there, but it depends on how the market reacts, because the market could easily just, after a dump, just consolidate, and then you could get that like liquidity sweep. So I wouldn't be rushing into trades now. I think that, you know, I am looking for either a V-shaped recovery out of here or price to just go sideways. And I am prepared for a V-shaped recovery, but I am also prepared to cut those positions if it is looking scary. Obviously, PCE on Friday, this is a significant event. We've obviously had a massive dump today. We got unemployment claims on Thursday, nothing happening today. So you can expect just sideways, and sideways, basically everyone waiting for the core PCE, which is going to be major news event. You know, we've obviously had a massive dump today. NASDAQ and all of that's also down a bit. So you are waiting for a catalyst to push price further or correct price. So, you know, getting into a long position may be a good idea. And I think we'll have to wait for the next few days. You know, could we see a push up just to reject off here? We'll have to wait and see. But Friday should be significant, guys. Friday should give us direction. Are we going to come down to the 80K level, the 50% of the move from August to the high over here, all-time high? Very likely that this does get tested. This got tested perfectly in April, guys. I mean, in August. You know, we were calling for this to be a significant low because we got the 50%, the perfect 50% from, I think, the lows. Yeah. Which level was it? I think it could have been, yeah, it was these lows over here. So the previous kind of base, of course, this base was the low to the all-time high created there in March, and that 50% level came in at 49K. So that was the significant 50% level. This was obviously a massive base that we built over here. So this would be a significant low over here. We didn't use this one because no base was built here. We had a little sweep below, deviation below the range, and then off we go. So, you know, we could see something very similar to this. I think this is quite likely, in my opinion. You know, if we just look at this, massive push up, you know, push up over there, came down, lost the 50, swept below the range over there. If we just zoom in, we came below here, bang, everyone got very scared, of course. Everyone thought we were going straight back down to the 31K. So this is looking very similar to the current situation. I'll tell you why. Is because, you know, everyone is now thinking that we're going to come back to these levels over here. So this would be this level over here, of course. And, you know, we did break through. We had a nice pump up, consolidated. Now we are below. Everyone is scared. We are below. Everyone is scared. So all we need now is a push up and some consolidation. Push up, consolidate over here, and then we are likely to see something like that play out. So that is the kind of plan, in my opinion. And if we start to lose 80K, then we are going to be in for a longer sideways period, guys. It doesn't mean the bull market's over, of course. But if we start to lose this level, come up, test this, and then we start to hover like this, then we are in for a sideways period, guys. It'll be very boring, and we'll have to see what happens, of course. We'll take it one step at a time. But first things first, we have to lose this significant level over here, 85.6K. If we lose that, then we can look lower to 80K. But for now, the 382 Fibonacci is a significant level, of course, and the 200-day EMA for Bitcoin is a significant level. So is it time to panic? Definitely not now, guys. Definitely not now. The risk reward is crazy right now. And I think we could see something like this play out, of course, but we'll have to wait. Time will tell, and we must wait for Friday. Friday, core PCE. I think that would be the catalyst which may move price. Okay, so total crypto market, we are obviously below 3 trillion now, which was the previous all-time high. So a deviation is on the cards, which isn't ideal. But we are still above the line in the sand of 2.72 trillion, which we are still bullish above that level. Obviously, that was the previous cycle, the previous high for this cycle. So this may be tested, but we do want to see a reclaim of $3 trillion sooner than later, of course, guys, of course. And for us to get bullish, we need to see a price consolidating above this level over here, and that's coming in at 3.25 trillion for us to get bullish, very bullish. of course. Bitcoin dominance, let's go into this because it's looking very interesting. Yesterday's reaction was interesting. Obviously, alts dumped on Monday, and then Bitcoin dumped on yesterday, Tuesday, of course. And this is looking like a double top deviation. And what we want to see as an altcoin bull, if you are an altcoin bull, would be for this to break down, fill the full fair value gap, and then we'll see how it reacts over here. And then we are looking for a macro breakdown to occur. And the first target will be 52%, guys. 52% is the, the bearish altcoin case target. That for me is the minimum. The cycle would be 52%. If altcoins are very bullish, then we can come down to this 42%. But for me, this is the bare minimum. I'll be taking some altcoin profits if we do come into this level, of course, but I will be keeping about half my bag for a potential move lower. But we'll have to wait and see, guys. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, what else is significant? USDT dominance, obviously. Let's go back to the daily time frame. Interesting, we are coming into a resistance. Can we get a move higher into this significant level over here at 5.24%? We can, of course, get a move into there. That would be the 50% level over here from August to the all-time highs. So this is resistance, guys. This is resistance for USDT dominance, meaning this is support for crypto. Of course, guys, everyone's bearish now. Fear and greed super high. We are at support, and it makes sense to accumulate, guys. From a objective and, obviously slightly bullish bias, I would say it makes sense to be accumulating your positions now. If you did buy in this region over here, this is a significant buy. We are at support, guys, and we must obviously treat support as support. Okay, the rest of the markets, I'm expecting a sideways period. What's interesting as well is with meme coins, obviously they are really low at the moment, but all forming bullish divergence. Didn't get too smashed yesterday. Most of them actually finished green, of course, but they're not getting dumped majorly at the moment. They did have a dump before, so this is a potential sign. This made a higher low, Floki higher low, Popcat higher low, Notcoin basically a higher low, Jasmy a low low. But this is showing a potential shift here, in my opinion. Everything holding up, Bitcoin coming down, Bitcoin dominance looking quite toppy, and it looks like obviously here higher low. Of course, this idea got stopped out yesterday, unfortunately, but it is lower than our entry at the moment, so we can get in. But an opportunity is here, guys, and we are looking for tokens like something like Sui forming a higher low, and we are waiting for this kind of breakout to happen. We're going to have to make this over here now. So let's see if we can start to take out these levels. If we take out this 3.6%, we'll be looking quite good. We'll be looking quite good. But yeah, I think it's just time to wait, sit on our hands for a bit, see what happens on Friday. Friday, core PCE, of course, very significant. But we are at support, guys. If you are freaking out, I wouldn't be freaking out, guys. I think we have a long year ahead of us. This has been one of the worst months in crypto, of course. But, we are at support. Things are in a bargain area. And worst case scenario is that we just wait it out, guys. We just wait it out. All things after a while do incredibly well. If we zoom out on, okay, let me go on to my other charts here. If we zoom out on Bitcoin, if you give anything time, obviously this is a lot of time, but if you give things time, you get significant moves, of course, guys. And it's the same thing with ETH. If you give things time, they obviously play out. If you give things time, let's look at Solana. If you give things time, you get rewarded. And you can look at any altcoins, guys. If you look at stocks, S&P 500, whatever you look at, just zoom out and give it time, guys. For all we know, we could be in this period over here. We could be grinding sideways for a long time before we get rewarded. And, you know, if we are in a top over here, of course, and we get further downside, just know that after a long period of time, if you are in spots, of course, you will get rewarded, guys. You will get rewarded. Just a bit of hopium over here. But just know that, you know, we are at support, and it is, you know, a good risk reward to be getting into spot positions, and obviously, you know, not going all in with money that you need right now. Of course, if you give anything time, you'll get rewarded. You know, the stock market is designed to transfer money from the impatient to the patient. So if you just change your mindset and you become more patient and you fundamentally believe in what you've invested in, and, you know, it will end well. It will end well, guys. It will definitely end well. You know, something like, obviously, the meme coins, we can go into the meme coins. Fundamentally, it's a pump and then it's a dump. It happens every time. We can zoom out on every single meme coin, and that is what happens. So if you are in, you know, something like Solana, which we are heavily invested in on the channel, of course, and Ethereum and stuff like Ondo, which is a relatively new, but we know that fundamentally this is a strong project, guys. RWA narrative is hot, and it is likely to perform. Look at Mantra. RWA narrative, you know, is this the real deal? Maybe it is, but Ondo is likely to follow suit. And if you give Ondo time, you know, I think you should be seeing $3, $4, $5 sooner than later. Just give it time, guys. Just give it time. Okay. I'm not going to do altcoin requests today because, you know, we're just going to be looking at extremely low levels. So, you know, if I were you, I would just take a chilled, relax, know that your portfolio is going to be okay if you are invested in fundamentally strong tokens, which we obviously all are. And I mean, and these times normally separates the men from the boys. Okay. That being, you know, traders, but as well as projects. And, you know, if you look at some good projects, they will be the projects that are going to do well this run over the next year. Sui, guys, Sui. You know, we got into the majority of our position around that 80 cents, and we are still up on this, guys. Obviously, you know, would have been cool to sell at $5 and buy it all back now, but this is a project that is most likely going to do well this cycle. And, you know, $10 Sui is not off the cards, very much on the cards. Render, you know, this is struggling. Obviously invested in this. It is at a range low. You can't sell now if you are in this. But, you know, the AI narrative, it's fundamentally a bullish project, of course. But if you go into meme coins, you know, this was fun. You know, I did have a big bag at this point, which is obviously down 80%, which is bleak. It's bleak, of course, it's bleak. But it's not the end of the world, guys. It's not the end of the world. Never trade with anything that's, you know, you need the next day, because you never know where it's going to go. But if you give these things time, it always plays out. Let's have a look at Dogecoin. Guys. Obviously dump down, but let's zoom out on Dogecoin. You know, this was once at what a tenth of a cent. Okay, crazy. This pumped all the way up, came over here, then everyone got wrecked, everyone got upset, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's obviously made a lower high. But, you know, at the end of the day, you do get these pushes up. And if you are in this period over here, which maybe we are in, just know that you always are going to get a pump up. There is always a pump up. You know, are we going to grind sideways, you know, for a long period of time? It doesn't make sense that happens now. I think there is still another leg up. I think 2025 will be green. That is my thesis. That's been my thesis the entire time. That is why I'm not too concerned, guys. You know, major support in this level over here. This was likely to be tested, of course. You know, when you get these huge moves, it can come down. And this is looking pretty good for spot buys. I think that I could be getting into some Dogecoin over the coming weeks. I think it's looking pretty good. Obviously looking a bit short. But just know that you can grind sideways for a bit and just don't get chopped out of your positions. That's why we don't recommend leverage. Once you're leverage trading and you're in a trade where all your money can be taken away from you, you are going to get emotionally attached to that, and you are going to be thinking about it too much, and it is going to drive you insane, and it is going to drive you to close your positions, of course. That is what it's all designed for. Obviously leverage, it's a great tool to make money if you know how to trade properly with it. If you don't risk more than 1% of your account. I mean, I've been trading now with my CoinW account, and I'm still in the green, guys. I'm still in the green because I have good risk management. Good risk management means you're not risking more than 1% of your account per trade, obviously on my leverage portfolio. So when you're not risking more than 1% per trade, maybe 2% max, the most you can lose is 2% in your account per trade. And the beauty of leverage is that you can 20x a trade with 1% of your account. So you have 20% of your account is now exposed and open to the market, but you can only lose 1%. So you can be spot in, and basically, you can be in a trade with 5% or 20% of your trading account, but you can only lose 1%. That is where leverage makes sense. Going all in and with a risky trade, of course, with poor invalidation points, that is how you lose money. You know that when you are leveraged up, you are very likely to be chopped in and out, especially in the sideways market. I can tell you now that most people have lost money in this period. If you look at Bitcoin from August to now, most people have lost a lot of money. Okay. I am probably just above break even. It's nothing to go home about, but it's better than 95%, guys. It's better than 95%, of course. And the reason why is because of risk management and not over leveraging and not over risking. And this is how you survive. Okay. So the plan is now is going to be accumulate longs in this period where everyone is handing over their positions. And then we are going to make a lot of cash when we get that next move up, most likely. That is what we're waiting for. That is the game plan. So guys, for now, sideways market, crab markets, we are in longs, 2,400 on ETH, 88K on Bitcoin, 135 for Solana. We are up in those trades, not taking any profits. I'm going to wait and see how Friday's news event reacts. Am I going to increase the positions? Am I going to move stops to break even? Am I going to take profits? I'm not sure, but we'll wait and see. But we'll update you through the week, of course. Guys, happy trading out there, and we will see you guys on Friday. Good luck, and remember, don't over leverage yet. Cheers, guys.